We are live. So, hey guys, how you guys doing today? We're here to talk about reincarnation. Here with my partner Robyn Love as we go back and forth, conversation style. I think Robyn, this is a really important subject. Um, I when I first heard about reincarnation, I really didn't know what it was. It was kind of spooky. Um,
Hey, wait, don't brush over that. What was spooky about it?
the spookiness came from I probably because I just didn't know because I was taught that religion, Christianity, was the way through God, and so anything outside of that made me nervous, uh, and so that's
Is
where that limiting belief came from. So that's why it was a little uneasy for me.
okay, so if we unpack that, the part that was uneasy was accepting the thought that you've been here before, possibly, or that this isn't your first time in a body on earth, or did it sound too close to other um, Eastern religions, and that was what made it scary for you? Because it is definitely not really spoken of as a Christian concept.
No, I mean my thinking was just like everybody else. I mean you learn from those around you, from your environment. So I thought that you were born and then you died. That was it, and you went to heaven. Never thought uh,
Or hell.
one moment that there was an opportunity that I had been here before. And when I began to marinate on that and think about that, I began to understand that, is that a possibility?
Okay. So, what made you be open to exploring that possibility, as you put it?
Because like most people out there, and I'm talking to whoever's listening to this or who will listen to this, I got sick and tired of myself. I got tired of religion, because it appeared to be the struggle was just as real for those who were in religion versus those who were who were not in religion or in church or some type of organization, uh, for a higher mindset. And I wanted something different. They would tell us, and I'm sure you've heard this before, that God or divinity is mysterious. His ways are way above our ways. We can't understand the mysteries of God, uh, which was, I found out, a lie. So,
Okay.
but let's stick to this reincarnation. Um, how it works. Is it true? Is it not true? Is it worth investigating? Uh, so, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I noticed that I never really used the term reincarnation
Mm,
because that has so much extra that comes with it that sometimes people will be shut down before even hearing you out. So I never used that term. But the funny thing is, most people believe in it, but if they get serious about it, they cannot have a conversation about it. Have you ever heard the old folks say, "Oh, that child's been here before,"
yep,
and you've heard them say things like, "That's an old soul."
I have.
So both of those are references of a young person behaving or emulating things in a way that would suggest that they had been here before and they come back around. And so a lot of times when people die, they say the same thing about family members, like that's the soul of such and such. So we say it in passing, but if you really start to peel the layers of that onion back
Yep.
and start doing some investigating, that's when you're able to see, okay, is it that I get one chance at life, I die, and then I enter eternity, heaven or hell? Or perhaps am I in eternity now, meaning I have existed as other people at other times, other names, other countries, other experiences, and this is just a continuance of my soul. And right now I'm experiencing myself as Robyn. My soul is having that experience. And then perhaps as I continue to learn, that I'll pass away, continue in eternity, and continue to have life experiences, different names, different experiences. So, how
Yeah.
does that land when you hear me talk about it in that way?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it kind of brings all the pieces of the puzzle together, because it starts uh, down that road of the why, answering the why, instead of just, that's just the way it is. I mean, we always hear, that's just the way it is. It, it's just that way. And so we just keep it moving without any question. So, uh, in total agreement with what you just said about, um, the whole working of, what that means. But you still have to get to a point to where you have to make a decision. And I know for me, I had to get to a point to where I had to unlearn some things, because the moment you believe something, that's where you stop, because you put your thoughts and your emotions into everything that you believe. And so that if something else differs from the way that you believe, you have limited yourself maybe to another way of thinking about things. And so I had to unlearn some things in order for me to understand this reincarnation thing. But once I began to really just be open and free to new thought, um, that's when the questions and the answers became available to me, because then I became unlimited. I was able to receive. I was able to move past all the beliefs that I had accumulated on my journey on Earth.
Well, I want to dive a little bit deeper into that because I don't think we've given the proper context of it's not about reincarnation and Christianity or any other world religion. So I want to give a little background of why we would even start discussing this.
Right.
So um, if you and I counsel with a lot of people that are suffering quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of questions about life. They have a lot of questions about why do I keep experiencing the same thing over and over again? Why can't I get past this place or why can't I get past that place? And I'd rather come from that place and then get back around to the experience of the soul. So the soul is having an experience. And I'd say that if I was doing that much suffering and that's all that there is to life and I've never existed before, that would seem pretty unfair to me. Why does this person get to live this way with all of this notoriety and fame and fortune? And then there's a man that's laying on the street. Is that all that there is to that man, this homeless man that'll die and nobody will even know that he was here? Or this person achieves this high level? That's all we get, that one shot? And yet, the world has been around for billions of years and things have progressed and moved forward over and over again. So it's helpful. Or the first thing that I did was I had to accept that I have been here before and existed before. I had to accept that my soul is eternal. And that is a Christian principle. Our souls are eternal, but it's not that I come and live and then eternity starts when I die. I'm in eternity now. This is an evolvement. It's a continuance of the eternity that I've been in, not an eternity that's going to start when I expire. And I can also tell you that that's pretty comforting for anyone that has lost a loved one, anyone that has experienced the grief and the pain of losing someone that's very close to you, knowing that the soul continues on, not in heaven or hell, but that the soul continues on and continues to have the opportunity to come back and experience life in a different existence, that can be pretty comforting to someone that may feel like someone's life was cut short.
Yeah. Well, two things that I want to touch on real quick before we get away from it. You said acceptance, and you said the continuance of a loved one, which is energy.
Yeah.
Acceptance is a really really big deal. Uh, for some of those people who are going to be listening to this, that's going to be the key. We accept a lot of things that we sometimes don't understand, and when you accept it, uh, acceptance is almost like integration. It, it's like it's almost like so it is. And so when you come into into agreement with acceptance, you can move past that barrier. To
But I can tell you, there were times in my life you couldn't have said that to me. I would
yeah,
have thought this is very anti-Christian. I don't want to hear it.
absolutely.
So you can't even approach me with this conversation. I was so defensive, I would cut it off. And
Yeah,
so growing past that and being willing to visit the other side just to
that's
hear it
right.
out,
All right.
then I found out about this word resonance. And I started noticing that when I lowered my guard, instead of throwing up the Christian flag, when I was just able to just listen and to accept the thought different than what I believed in the moment, I started noticing that somewhere inside, it felt like the truth. It resonated with me. It felt like there's something to this. And I kind of owe it to myself to get a better understanding before I'm too so quick to dismiss it. And that's what the process was like. So
Yeah,
that was acceptance. And then there
yeah.
was something we want to talk about.
No. It was acceptance. I mean, you finally got to a point of acceptance, so you can move forward to start those
Yeah.
investigations and
Yeah.
look at things differently. But
Yeah.
the other thing that I wanted to talk about was you mentioned about loved ones still being here.
Yeah.
And again, once you start investigating these things, you start seeing things in a whole different light, and so you have to change your perspective, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to read what energy is just real quickly. It says energy is neither created or destroyed. It just is.
Learned that in science a long time ago. So tell me how energy relates to the soul. What does one have to do with the other? Why would you bring that up?
Because the soul is energy.
Okay.
We're all energy, and energy, as I just stated, it can be transferred, transmuted, but it can't be destroyed. It can never be destroyed. So that means that if it can never be destroyed, that it is,
Okay. So
right?
do you consider us to be souls, energy, or both?
Both.
Okay. And
Both.
so if I cannot be created or destroyed, then what is death? Because someone was here and now they're not here. And you're telling me that can't be destroyed. Isn't that being destroyed?
Death is just a birth into another level. So in other words, as human beings on this earth plane, we understand that we've been taught that when something leaves or something's no longer on the earth, it has died. That's what we've been taught. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn that nothing ever dies. It just transforms into a different energy. I mean, it's no different than water going to steam. I mean, it's just a different form of energy. And when you understand that, then that gives you a whole new insight on 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 being a human being and tapping
Wait,
into those
so
energies.
does that mean I would go from, if I'm not dying, I would dissolve, so my body is left here. Where does my soul go when I die?
The soul is basically energy. It's everywhere. It really just depends on, since we're talking about reincarnation, and we'll get more into that in those energies. uh you know you come back in a different form, and that in itself is energy.
That within itself is energy. So we'll have to dig into this a little bit more
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it
There's,
has
I
so
mean,
many layers to it.
it does. And you know one of the reasons why we are talking about this is because there are a lot of us. I mean, I know I was really, really wanting something different. I was really wanting a change in my life. Uh, it wasn't like I hadn't heard about reincarnation before, but I was closed off to it. And I think, as the Kabbalion says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I think people are looking for answers because what the world is giving us is nothing but fear, nothing but trembling, nothing but bad, and it's always doom and gloom. Um, but um, coming from my perspective and coming from where I've come from, and Robyn, you can speak for yourself. We've been through. the troubled water of unlearning to relearn what truth and freedom is really all about. Um, and that's why we do what we do. Robyn is a soul practitioner. She does soul contracts, um, and I help and aid her with that. But I also do energy work, which is sometimes dealing with those deep rooted blocks and things that we've learned that need to be moved out of the way so we can be able to receive these truths that truly set us free. Robyn, I'll let you add to that.
Well, I appreciate everything that you said about that. And I do want to take that a little bit deeper because I believe most people have an awareness. We just don't know how to put it all together, especially if we're coming from a religion that doesn't speak on it. Because how many times have you heard someone say, good vibes? That's such a common thing to say. What are vibes? What does a person mean by that? They're referencing energy, good energy. And then they can say they went into a place and the place was dark. It was heavy. We've heard of dense energy, dark energy, but we don't know how that relates to us as individuals. And our soul journey, our soul search led us to understanding the relationship between the two. That when you're saying you do energy work, you're referencing that you can sense or feel the energy of a person, place, or thing, and that you have studied to the level to be able to move or make that energy lighter when it's energy that is not pleasing, when it's energy that a person maybe is too heavy and they're choosing not to experience it. You have been doing the work of clearing that energy, sensing it and clearing it. And then to talk about um, soul contracts provide answers to a soul that's seeking, to a soul that's searching and asking, why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? Why was I born? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And I don't give a reading that provides those answers that are coming from Robyn. I actually am able to um, translate to the person once I receive some information to them. I'm able to translate answers to those questions by letting them know what energies their body is composed of. And that work has been beautiful work. It's been life transforming work because we're able to share with people things that otherwise we would never know about them. And it's not like a psychic type thing. It's because we're able to read the energies of their soul so that they get a better understanding of why they've had certain experiences, why they have come in this lifetime, what their goals are, what they're supposed to achieve, what their purpose is. And Christian or not, what religion you are, I think that's universal. Most human beings want to know something deeper than the obvious. Why am I here and what am I supposed to bring to the world? And that's the work that we have been very fortunate to embark upon.
Yeah, and the beautiful part about that is not that that what you believe is wrong,
That's
because
right.
there's truths in everything, but you have to be open to understand that it's a possibility that there's something else, and that something else might be the very thing that you're listening to right now. And so uh, we've grew up as Christians, Robyn.
Yeah.
I see my mama and my grandma, and you at one time were a pastor. So it's not like that we don't know. It's not like that it wasn't ingrained in our veins, and we had to do some work. But man, the other side is so beautiful because um, your mind is expanded. You all the things that you hear that that you're gonna burn in hell, and you're going to you shouldn't mess with those things, or you shouldn't do that because those things are evil.
And you
All those
don't
things,
question God.
yeah, all those things that have been handed down to us, and
Yeah.
we just accept it. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's time to accept something else, and what that looks like is you have to want it for yourself. You have to start to question, why do I believe what I believe? Do I believe what I believe because of what mama, daddy, grandma, my peers have said? Or do I
Mhm.
believe it because I have investigated on my own to see if this stuff is really real? And so we uh we invite you guys, anybody who listens to this, to get a soul contract reading. Uh, Understand, your energies and how to work with them. Understand what energy is, and of course, you know, between myself and Robyn, we will walk you through the process. We do this every day, all day. We love doing what we do. We love to see that twinkle in the eye when that person gets it and they look at life from a whole different perspective. It's such a beautiful work. So, Robyn, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, when the soul, I just agree with what you said. Something about watching a soul be set free. Something about, because I can tell you, doing a soul contract reading, we are not telling you something that you don't already know. We look for it to resonate within. So I'm not ever trying to convince anybody of anything. The things that we share, that we get to share with that individual, if it resonates with them, if it sounds true within, then that gets them started on a path of discovering their real purpose and what they're supposed to be doing with their life, and understanding why they've had the experiences that they've had and how to untangle themselves from it. So
Right on.
that leads me to what's probably going to be our next conversation. We got to talk about karma.
Yeah. Well, maybe that'll be the next one.
Yeah.
But hey, let me ask you this: if somebody comes across this, no, not if somebody comes across this, they will come across this, and they want to get a soul contract reading, and they want to even just get some information, even if they don't want to get a soul contract reading, but just information, how would they be able to get a hold of us?
I'm going to add some information to this video that'll tell them exactly how to get information on a soul contract reading. It doesn't matter where they are in the world. We can do it um, using technology, or if they are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they may choose to have that done live. But I'm going to provide that information underneath the video, and then they can look for us to continue to put out more videos to help them understand how this works and how it can deepen their perspective of their soul's purpose.
All right. Well, folks, there you have it. Stay light, be light. I'm Cedric,
I'm Robyn Love.
and we send you much love today.